What's going on, YouTube? My name is FG3000, and finally, the MMO Hopper has come to Elite Lord of Alliance. Let us get it on. Now, if you're not familiar with this game, it is an action RPG, top-down MMO, and really, it's pretty much by the numbers, but its claim to fame is what they deem triple action combat. Now, what the heck is triple action combat? Allow me to explain. So, on my three keys right here, F1, F2, F3, I have three different weapons. So, F1 is a single dagger, F2 are these claws, and F3 is this scythe. And they pretty much correspond to a specific type of gameplay. So F3 for my scythe is all frost-based, so it's a lot of control. F2 is blood, so there's some lifesteal, there's a lot of single target damage there. And then F1, I think, is more of a PvP spec. I don't really use it a lot out here while I'm doing PvE, but I'll kind of go through all the abilities and you can be the judge there. So let's start off with dagger spec in combat, like I always like to start off these videos. Alright, so let's round them up. In all these action RPGs, you round up mobs. What I typically do is teleport in, hit him with the dagger, hit him with the AoE, bounce out with my 4 key, and then hit him with the stun, hit him with this cool AoE dagger attack, and that should pretty much almost completely dead. Now, you might be noticing some frame drops. This game is not well optimized at all. It's actually pretty bad. I have a GTX 980. I have the specs on max, but I mean, even when I turned it down, I really didn't gain that many frames. So be prepared for a game that's going to drop frames for pretty much no reason. Right now, with nobody around, I'm about 48, 50 frames per second, but as soon as I go over here with mobs, it'll drop in the 20s. So can't help that, but just letting you know ahead of time. Alright, so that was dagger spec. Now I have my claw spec, which is one of my favorites. And really, I just use this and just barrel people down. So, as you can see there, I have Cycle Crusher. And that is basically the blood spec for the most part. One of the more stronger ones, and one I use quite often while I'm doing PvP or PvE. And then last but not least, we have Scythe. Let's round them up again. So typically what I do here is I drop this little blizzard, freeze them in it, do spin to win, and that's pretty much it for that spec. She does have a fear, but fear throws them all over the place, which I don't really like to do, obviously, if I'm just doing some grinding. If the going gets tough, I do have an ice blot, which I just ruined. And there's another frost as well. So that's pretty much how it works in this game. Go ahead and DPS these guys down, and let's get out of this little area. Right now, I'm hovering right around 28 frames per second, a little bit lower. I use a recording program called DxTory, and typically there's really not that much of a frame per second hit. So it's not the recording, it's not me, capturing footage that's causing the frame loss. It's just the game is just really poorly optimized. And for a game that doesn't look all that awesome, it doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look super awesome. It's just kind of hard to recommend. So here's my what I normally do. I round people up, do that, freeze them, take a ton of damage, which I didn't mean to do. Switch to claw stance, and finish them off. And the Cycle Crusher. And this guy's the only person left. I'll pop a red pot, which I have tons of. And that's pretty much the game, to be completely honest with you. You go from location to location on a pretty linear path. The quest NPCs will tell you to kill 10 of these, 5 of these. Typically, those mobs are literally right in front of the NPC. And that's pretty much it. So, yeah. Let's do that combo one more time. Now, the combat is satisfying for the most part. Like, the abilities are pretty cool. The triple action combat works for the most part. And when I say it works, it's not going to be a game changer. Like, you're not going to leave your action MMO of choice to play this game just for the triple action combat. So that leaves this game in a really curious position that it doesn't really have that much more to offer other than this little gimmick. And like I said, the combat is satisfying, but that is really it. The armor itself, I don't think is really cool. I'm level 14 right now. I don't think I've looked cool the entire game. I think I looked pretty cool when I was in the character select screen, when I was making my little hot elf chick with red hair. But other than that, I haven't really seen any really awesome weapons or All of my weapons have been pretty standard. I haven't really noticed any standouts thus far. And like I said, this is several hours into the game, but it's definitely not mid or late game, so that could definitely change. But just kind of giving you guys an idea of what to expect at this level. See you later. So what else does the game have to offer besides triple action combat, running from quest NPC to quest NPC, and grinding mobs? Well, not that much. There is a PvP system, but I really don't like to cover PvP in these games because you really don't get a good feel of PvP until you get a little bit higher level. And it looks like I have to be rank 30 anyway, so no big deal. There is a pet system. As you see right now, I have this little guy right here, and he gives me a buff. Increases damage to named bosses by 1%. And when he's my mount, when I press F5, increases my movement speed by 35%, and my probability of being knocked off is 80%. So that's kind of my mount. Now, if I want to make him even stronger and evolve him, or not evolve him, I'm sorry. If I want to grow him, I can, first of all, I have to unequip him, slide him over here, and then I just feed him some lesser pets. But actually, I don't know if I'm going to do that. Hold on, I got a new pet there. So I just fed him those little lesser pets, and that will continue to level him up. As you level him up, you can evolve him. You know, you've seen this system before in these type of free-to-play games. But it looks like I just got a new pet here. So let's ride. Oh, nice looking pet. So let's see. So now, I actually prefer to use this pet now. So let's go ahead, unequip him. I have to get off of him first. Unequip. There we go. And let's go ahead and grow. Put this guy there. Evolve my old one, or use him to grow my new pet there. Take that. Sit on him. And there we go. And that's kind of the pet system. You get pet drops as you play the game naturally. Pretty much all the mobs can drop a pet of themselves, including humanoid mobs and ghosts and things like that. So there's tons of pets in the game. You can also buy some as well. So that is pretty much the systems of this game. There's really not much else to talk about. I wouldn't really recommend this game unless you really love the art style itself. And if you really, really like the idea of this triple action combat, being able to switch weapons. But in my humble opinion, it just becomes a rotation, right? It doesn't really add much to the game after you get over the initial wow factor of, oh, cool, I have 3 different weapons that I can switch to on the fly. It really just becomes a rotation at the end of the day. Like, I always start off with my Blizzard, freeze them in it, spin to win, switch to dagger, or switch to claws, and finish off whoever else is alive. Now, I usually don't take that much damage, I promise. It's just because I'm talking. Usually that combo works out really well. I'm gonna have to redeem myself real quick. And then here goes the dagger spec. Like I said, I really don't use it too much. It looks like it's more of a PvP focus spec here. So let's actually try to do this a little bit better. So round them up. That's enough to round up. Drop the Blizzard, walk a little forward, freeze them. Oh, I'm taking it. Oh, okay, now I'm not. There it goes. Much better. Oh, no, we don't die in videos. We don't die in videos. Teleport. We do not die in videos. Now, I'm not gonna dispute there might be a better rotation, but I like this rotation. I really do. It normally works out pretty well. Alright, that's a much better example there. Much better. There it is. So anyway, that is the Elite Lord of Alliance. It's okay. It's okay. If you really love the art style, if you really like the idea of an assassin class, they also have a sniper, they have like a warrior, a cleric. They have a couple of interesting classes, and all of them have 3 different weapons. So if that is something that appeals to you, definitely give it a try. I will say, the dungeons are not that special. I'm actually in a dungeon right now. And this is kind of where we're going to conclude the video. We're not going to go all the way through it, but this is a dungeon, basically. Hey, all these cool little World of Warcraft bear mounts are after me. See, this is the satisfying part. And it might be, I gotta be honest, I love, oh, no. I love action RPGs a lot, so I'm pretty biased. Like, I might be giving this game a bigger pass than it deserves, because I love this genre so much, and I am not dying. I'm just gonna keep on kiting until my red pot comes back. I love this genre so much, so I might be giving this game more of a pass than it deserves. But the combat's fun. It's definitely satisfying. It scratches that itch of rounding up a ton of mobs and barreling them down. It also has auto track, basically. You can click on anywhere in the map and go right there. So if you want a game that you don't really have to pay attention to, has pretty satisfying combat, and I'm going to kind of conclude on this point here, which is a point that I love to make in these videos. Hold on. These slappies want to get in my face. The inventory system is very fair. Typically in these games, you run out of inventory space really, really fast, but there is a disassemble in this game. So you can disassemble all of the items that you don't really need or items that drop from other classes, and it clears up your inventory space rather quickly. And then you can sort it out, and like I said, I can still buy more inventory space with in-game gold, and I haven't really had a need to. Being able to disassemble things on the fly and sort them back out, I haven't had any inclination to buy any type of backspace. So keep that in mind. It is pretty nice when it comes to backspace in this game. Let's take care of this right here. You can see that I don't want to really turn the video off because of the combat. Okay, that's it. All right, my name is FG3000. That is a look at Elite Lord of Alliance. I partially recommend this game for the reasons that I mentioned in the video. Check it out if you want. It is free to play by Webzen, so check it out. My name is FG3000. That is the Elite Lord of Alliance.com. I'm out. I'm gonna stop talking. Later.